Hi guys, so something very interesting just happened to me, and as usual I learn some life lessons from these things that I go through. So I was driving just now and I got to a red light, a traffic light, and the light was on red. Now there was a car right in front of me and my car was the next car. So this car right in front of me turns even though the traffic light was red, which meant that he or she was meant to stop. Now, I was just about to follow suit, and it's interesting that at this very junction where this happened, there were LASMA officials and the other LNSC or something officials there. But this guy turned without even considering that the light was red. As I was about to follow suit and turn, something just told me, Twain, don't do it. The light is red, just chill and wait till it turns green. And then I said, well, but the person in front of me turned. You're not the person in front of you. And the actual thought that came to my mind was, and you don't know what the person knows. You don't know the power the person carries. For him to have turned without thinking about it, and you want to follow suit. And the interesting thing is, if I turn and the officials stop me, I would have said, oh, but you guys were there and the person in front of me turned. And you know what they always say? Excuse ignorance or somebody else did it is a reason for breaking the law. The light is on red. Why did you turn? And I said, oh, the person in front of me turned. That's why I also turned. I just felt that we could turn. And I'd have started telling stories. And, that would have been just a crazy addition to my day. But as I thought about it, it occurred to me that this is how sometimes we try to do what other people do without knowing the place, the understanding that they're doing it from. It's just the same way you hear someone's testimony about maybe something you're believing God for, and they say they did it XYZ way, and you just believe that because they have said they did it that way, you too can go and do it that way. Brothers and sisters, you just might fall into a ditch because we don't follow people because of what they just did without having the understanding ourselves as to how to do it. And that's why many times we just fall into all sorts of traps, all sorts of situations, because we are just following. Luckily, or at least I stayed at the traffic light till it turned green, and I moved on. But then I asked myself, why do we act sometimes by just looking at what other people do? Maybe you see them doing something on social media. They are doing this program or this project or something. You lack understanding. You lack everything. But just thought, because she's doing it, I'm going to do it too. Because she did like this, I'm going to do it too. Because he posted this, I'm going to post it too. Is that what is your own conviction? Is that what is your own understanding? Do you know the power that they carry? Or do you even know the power that you carry? Hello family, you're welcome back to my channel. My name is Oluwatoyin, and today we are going to be having a conversation based on the video you just watched. So that video that you just watched was me 2 days ago, well 2 days before this recording, and what happened had happened as I was driving. So when I got to where I was going, I just parked the car and did the video, and it was something I was just going to put straight on like Instagram and Facebook and just leave it as a quick thought. But the more that I thought about it, the more I said, no, there's something deeper here, and which is why we're talking about it today. And if you saw the title of the video, I said, don't do follow, right? But I think the bigger conversation is asking ourselves why we do what we do, because that scenario has just been playing in my head, and it's not really the first time that I'll be caught in maybe following someone at a red light, or that kind of thing, or wanting to do something because somebody else did it. But with the benefit of maturity and being at a certain phase in life, there are a lot of things that I'm questioning now, a lot of things that I'm just taking as normal life, normal happenings, normal shenanigans. I'm really questioning. And like I said, the more that I thought about it, I started asking myself, why do we do what we do? And I realized that doing things without necessarily thinking about them, or most importantly, doing things because somebody else did them without asking if it was what I would do, is the basis of what has come to be a lot of problems in the world today. Everybody is getting married. I must get married.
everybody is stealing. It's corruption now. It's the society we live in. Me too. I must do it. I mean, why shouldn't I do it? But everybody is doing it because everybody is doing it. Does that give you and I a right to do it? And I just want us to really think about the core of our decision making. How many things that we do is actually based on personal conviction, personal values, and personal principles? There are so many things we do today that you don't realize at a very subconscious level is coming from all sorts of places that is not necessarily you and that is actually based on somebody else. So many things. And until we get back to the point where we actually can distill why we choose to live the way we do, why we choose to buy the car we buy, why we choose to use the phone we use. Are you using a particular kind of gadget because it's the status gadget of the moment, and if you want to belong, if you want to enter a place and fit the mold, we know what I'm talking about, then you realize, you know what, I have to use this gadget or drive this car or dress this way, even when it might be something you can't afford. Live in a certain place just because of the Joneses, or just because you want to say, when they ask you, oh, where do you stay? You want to say, I stay in that place. This is actually something that has affected us so foundationally as a society, as a people, as a continent, and even as a world, that if we don't recalibrate to ask ourselves, why do I do what I do? And get to a point where you can stop and say, before I make the next decision, what is really my why? Is this really what I believe in? Is this really who I am? Is this really how I choose to live my life? Is this really what I want? Is this really who I want to spend the rest of my life with? There's so many questions that are related to this. So I'm just throwing back this question to say, why do you do what you do? I mean, what happened to me was a simple traffic light situation. And I know that what I had said in that video was sort of understanding the power and the authority that the person has. And if you don't have that power or that authority, don't follow suit. Yeah, that is one angle. But I think besides the power and the authority, it is asking yourself the why. And for me, if you know your why, and you even know that, okay, my why is that I want to copy other people, it's okay. And you are convinced that your life is to be a copycat. It's like that advert when, well, I was young, it was called Rank Xerox. We taught the world to copy. For some reason, I can never forget that advert. Why do you do what you do? Why did you start that project? Why are you dating that person? Why are you not dating that person? Maybe a friend of yours said, oh, he's not cool. You know, he's not tall, dark, and handsome. And you two, you're looking for a certain spec, so that when you take him amongst your friends, you are proud of him. Oh, he doesn't drive a car. You know, for the kind of girl you are, you need a man of a certain stage. Meanwhile, the guy has a future, but you are using your friends' standards of life and of what is acceptable to make judgments based on your life and your future, on something that is so important. Because I'm saying that these days we are making so many mistakes, ruining our lives and ruining the world at large, because we are not necessarily doing things from a place of conviction. And we've allowed other people, consciously or subconsciously, to determine the way that we go, to determine the things that we do, to determine the way that our lives take shape. It is a dangerous thing. I'll give you a quick example, and this is just something very random that happened to me many years ago when I was in year one. So there was this boy that I'd met when I got into year one. And for some reason, I realized that I liked the attention. And so one day he asked me, and he said, oh, Twin, come to a club. Come to the club with me on Friday or something like that. You know, and the only reason why I wanted to do it was just to please him. I really had no interest or personal desire. But I just thought, oh, I have to please this boy. Oh my God, he asked me to come to the club. Oh my God, I was over the moon. Problem number 2, I didn't have what to wear. Well, problem number 1. Why? Because I didn't have what to wear. Because I saw people that were going to club dressed in a certain way, and I did not have any cool clothes or anything at least that I felt was cool. So I went home and I went to see my sister, and I could tell my sister things like that. So I told her, I said, Auntie Ops, I said, if she watches this video, she said I went to call her name. So I said, Auntie Ops, I need something to wear. She said, to wear. Okay, that sounds funny. I said, to the club. A friend of mine invited me to the club, but I don't have anything to wear. I need something to wear. So she then looked at me. She paused and she looked at me and she said, well, I can give you something to wear, but I just want to tell you that I spent 4 years in university and I never went to the club. That was all she said. That was all. She didn't say anything else. And it was like something in my brain just realigned. And I asked myself, Toyin, that's true. Why do you want to go to the club? And that desire died. The desire to please the boy died. The desire to go to the club died. And that was it. And I went back to school and I saw him and I said, you know what, I'm not going. And that's the end. It was as simple as that. Now, that might be a simple example, and there's so many other things that have happened to me over the years where I had to make or unmake decisions because I knew that I was making them for other people. And there are other things that have happened to me over the years. Oh my God, there was one particular thing that I feel cost me a lot. I wanted to make a very important decision, and I didn't even realize that the person that I was seeking counsel from was also making his decision to me based on a selfish reason. But I received that counsel because that person said, my personal conviction, let's assume my personal conviction was to go right. This person said, go left. But the person was much older, was like a mentor to me at the time, and I decided, you know what, he said go left. And sometimes, well, not till now, but before, whenever I looked back at that decision, I thought to myself, Toyin, you should have followed your conviction. But we bless the Lord, we've moved on. But there are some things that can be costly. For example, if I had passed that red light and I was stopped, stories that touch the heart begin. They can just cut you ticket. I think these days it's like 20,000 or something, any offense. Why should you just waste that kind of money? Because, not even because maybe you got to the traffic lights and you were in a hurry and the light was red and you wanted some, but just because somebody else was doing it in front of you, but I knew what was right. A light is red, stop. And I was going to turn only because somebody else did it. You know what is right. This kind of thing should not be done. But hey, everybody is doing it at the office, then you join them. You know what is right. Cheating in your exams is bad. Cheating is cheating. But hey, everybody is doing it. That's how everybody does it. Bam. And sometimes I think it's because we feel like there are no consequences. So for example, I could have gone on the red light. Maybe nobody would have stopped me. Maybe I would have gone free. Does that make it right? No. N-O capital no. And we have to get to the point where the basis of our decision making is what is right and not what the consequences might be. Or, well, there'll be no consequences. Well, I will not get caught. Well, leave all of that. Let your conscience decide. Let your God decide. Especially if you're watching this and you're a child of God. I believe that if every Christian does what is right, that is right, there'll be a change in this society. We're in the season where we all have to put one another on very serious standards and say, what is right? Are you doing what is right? When nobody sees you, are you doing what is right? Or are you doing it only because they see you? And then when you're behind closed doors, you can manifest. Why do we do what we do? And if you're watching this and you've been caught by follow spirit, it's no problem. It's time to recalibrate. It's time to change. Questions you must ask yourself: what do you really believe in? What is right according to your standards? What are your values? Values are the things that guide us. What are your principles? What are your convictions? And it is my prayer that regardless of what you see being done around you, Regardless of darkness, we can shine as the light. That is what it means to shine as light. Regardless of madness, we can stand rock solid in our beliefs, in our principles, in our convictions, in our values. This is just a thought that I thought to drop today. I didn't mean to rock any boat, but sometimes we have to rock the boats so that after the rocking, after the storm, the air is calm and it's nice. I'd like to hear your comments on this as always, so please leave your comments in the comment section. If you're falling for this in the past, let's learn from you as well. We're all here to learn. We're all here to know better, to live better, and to do better. Thank you for watching. Till the next video. Remember that we have worship videos, we have Bible readings, and we have these conversations. So now this channel is a potpourri of all sorts of, no, not all sorts, 3 different kinds of content. Follow us on the Bible reading, and then the worship sessions are there as well, and then these conversations. Thank you, and until the next time, stay connected to God. Bye.